I'm Vicky.
And I'm Lauren, and this is U-Haul and Unpack.
Don't forget to text your best friend back. I kind of forget to text you back sometimes. I open the message, but I don't you know how your brain's like, oh, I'll get back to her.
Oh, that's really funny that you do that to me, because when I do that to you, it ends up being a therapy session.
But it works.
Okay.
Speaking of therapy, we finally got our permission.
I do forget to text my best friend back.
I'm your best friend.
No, besides, I guess.
Isn't it crazy as an adult, a text message is now an email?
Yeah, but it gives me peace when other people also take 2 business days to get back to me. When it's fast, I'm like, oh, but I just spent the brain power to send this one.
I feel that way about Instagram messages too. I love all of my friends on Instagram. I have a very special friend and I send cat videos to him, but sometimes I don't have the energy to open and send, and I know that falls on me. I just God, I get so exhausted at the end of the day.
I think I love answering DMs, but when the number on my DMs gets too high, then I get freeze. And I'm like, well, I can't open that until I can sit down. And then it just goes on for 4 days.
Truly. Truly. Anyway, welcome back to U-Haul and Unpack. So we want to begin by saying thank you to everyone who reached out and everyone who listened and everyone who is listening now. You guys don't understand the impact that you truly have. Thank you from the bottom. I won't speak for Lauren, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really truly appreciate everybody's support.
Yeah, no, same. You can speak for me. I was not expecting the response from you all so quickly. And the whole reason we're doing this is because I don't know about you, but I would see things online or just even hear people give their best, story forward. When you catch up with them, and it's I just feel there was always either A, lacking depth, or B, I was just what is wrong with me that everything feels so hard? And I just feel there's so many more of you out there, and that you're resonating with this, and you've gone through something similar, and we're just here for it. So thank you.
And as we can tell, you're also here for the drama.
So
we wanted to discuss more about the affair and come at it because when we last left our podcast, we said that we were going to ask ourselves the questions that you should ask yourself when you feel a little, let's say, disrupted, right?
Disrupted's a good word for it.
when your ground has been shooketh, to say the least. And you should be asking yourselves those questions to step back and reevaluate, right? But we thought that we would take that and spin the idea into giving each other basically self-interviews of what was happening during the affair and how we were viewing ourselves and the questions we were asking ourselves, because as things progressed and as things fell apart, we obviously felt that within each other.
Yeah, and we haven't done this before, y'all. We've done this in therapy, but the way we're going about this and asking these questions, we're probably both going to hear things from each other that we haven't heard before.
Yeah, so you're very authentic.
So you're here for it. But yeah, the last one we left off on was questions you can ask yourself when you're shooketh, disrupted, whatever it is. Because in the moment when you're so overcome by your feelings, it can be difficult to get to that depth. So we're going to do that here by taking it out on each other in front of you. No, I'm kidding. But you know what I mean?
Fair. So let's start with when it originally began, I guess. When
which part?
Yeah. Fair point.
There were stages to this.
Well, let's start with when I was falling out of love with you. Let's really break that one down.
Okay, so we're starting towards the actual turbulence, not the
pre-build up. Yeah,
okay.
Because when you started falling out of love with me, it was
I didn't.
You're right, you didn't.
That was the whole thing, remember?
You're right, you didn't. I guess when I felt you pulling away from me, would allowed that gap. Let me say it that way. Would allowed that gap.
No, that's a good question. Just say that aloud. Elaborate. I didn't mean to cut you off.
When I say what allowed that gap to happen is when I felt you pulling away from me, it allowed that space for me to be free falling, to be what the fuck do I do now, right? So that emptiness of one mania and
Oh,
two,
God, yeah.
lack of discipline on my part, because like realistically, you're the first long-term relationship that I had that like I was dedicated to, right? My only other long-term relationship I had was in my early 20s, and that was super toxic.
It was on and off.
It was on and off, and there was a lot of cheating and like really bad news, right? So like you were my only like real dedicated, real life, long-term relationship. So now given this gap of like, what do I do with this free space? You know what I mean? That's where my mind wandered to. And like I didn't know it was wandering, and then the next thing I knew, we were living with people that like realistically brought me back to my PTSD of like working in local government.
No, yeah, no, it's fair.
And like it felt like you were siding with the people that hurt me the most, and like it felt like that from the bottom of my heart, that like you were out to hurt me at all times while I was trying to protect you, right? So there's this dichotomy of feelings of wanting to save you and protect you while you're still like the one like giving me write-ups and memos and all this stuff. So it's like, of course I'm going to work 7 days a week. Like I don't want to be fucking caught, like, you know? And that, I think, is like really, for me, what was happening during that period of time. But I want to reverse the question and ask you, like, what were you feeling during that period of time where there was that gap and we were transitioning out of our old rental into where we were living while we were building a house?
So I think we had, well, first, we know that we had problems before we moved.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like it had started, like, whatever. We're not going to get into, there's so many layers to this, y'all. Like it started a while back, but but like for when it got, I'll say, expedited, and we were living not in our rental before we got our house. When I was definitely siding with them because I felt that, keep in mind, like that foundation I had there was what I grew up with. So like that's what I knew to be right. That's what I knew to like live by. So the more you pushed back on me on it, the more angry I got with you. And also keep in mind, at the time, I didn't know you were trying to protect me.
Right.
It came off like you were attacking me.
Did it feel like I was like questioning like your morals? Not your, I guess like your morals, like
it felt like everything I was doing was wrong.
Like your rhetoric, you know what I mean? You grow up with what you think is right and what you think is wrong. So like were you thinking that I was like just questioning like your entire like being, I guess?
Yeah, it felt like you were not just questioning my entire being, telling me that it was wrong, but in such an unproductive way. So like for you, it was coming off like with from what you're telling me, it was coming off with like frustration for you trying to protect me and us.
Yeah.
But for me, it was coming off like you telling me, as I'm, putting in, and again, I'm not saying I did it correctly, but putting in my 110% of my energy into whether it was correct in our relationship. Like it was 110% of my energy, and then being told you're doing it wrong and you could be doing it better. Isn't that exactly what I stem from, really? So it's like, it was just like, now I'm getting it from you, and then also knowing damn well I got to put my head down and like just like power through this next however long. So
well, yeah. And like, in retrospect, I can absolutely see that, and it was way more than 110%. You were running on fumes at all times. Like I know it was more than 110%.
Yeah.
Because I was able to your depression was flaring, your anxiety was through the roof. Like I don't think that you had like calmness in your eyes that entire period of time.
No.
And like it was intimidating to approach you about just about anything, because I knew that the octave in your voice was going to be so much louder, so much harder. And like the same way that you felt that you weren't talking to me, I felt like I wasn't talking to you.
Yeah,
it was just this person that I was living with. You know what I mean? And like even going to bed at night, I'm like, I don't even know who I'm sleeping next to.
Oh,
you know
same
what I mean?
though. I was like, I felt so disconnected from you.
Wildly disconnected. Yeah. And I was like, how, again, like not to like refer to our first episode, but like who the fuck did I marry? Like,
no,
that's
really,
what
what it felt like with you too. So to ask that question, like not that question, but to ask a question about that question back, because like this is really the first time we're digging. We've dug into this so many ways, but not.
But like that
this.
was scary to ask those questions. You know what I mean? Like to think about that now, like how scary it might have been, and how scary in the moment to ask yourself, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, that was terrifying to ask myself. Like, why do you think I was at the gym all the time? Why do you think I was working all the time? Like, I didn't want to ask myself any of these things. And it was so much easier to distract myself with alcohol, other people, other situations. It was easier to have 5 minutes to myself and fill it with quote unquote obligations than to have a conversation with you.
It was easier for me to burn myself to the ground as long as I had something to show for it, if it meant I didn't have to talk to you.
Yeah. No.
And I'm not saying that this is not to be offensive. This is literally just like,
this is real talk.
Yeah, this is like where we were at the time. Like, I couldn't.
There was real hate there.
Oh yeah, and like I didn't both. I'm gonna speak for both of us. So correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I don't. It's not that like. Well, clearly, actually, I'm lying. Like, we didn't have the tools to communicate, because I want to say it's only we didn't have that. Like, no, clearly through
poor therapy,
we didn't have the tools to communicate, because we didn't know how to. Yeah, we just didn't know how to navigate that. But at all. But like looking back on it now, it's like, of course we know we could have done a million things different, right? It's always easy to look back and say that, but like,
right.
But like, no, I didn't think I could approach you, nor did I want to, because, and I think you feel the same similarly about me, you were so up already.
Oh yeah.
That like anything I said anyway was going to piss you off.
And
like,
it did. And it did, because we had like arguments, like we had like louder arguments than usual. We had times where like I just shut you down because I could. Like, there were times that like, I don't even want to say it was anger. It was like pure rage came out of me. And it was directed onto you because I just didn't like you. And like,
yeah, I didn't like you either.
And that's fair. I think that's more than fair, because I was an asshole. Like,
wait, really?
I think I was an asshole. I think I was like now looking at myself again, like this is all retrospect, right?
Yeah,
like
you haven't said that before.
Oh, well, I know I was. Like, again, in retrospect. Like, I'm sure if you asked me then.
Oh, you would have been like, I
would have justified myself.
Oh, 100%. You would have been like, I'm 100% right and she's 100% wrong. And
fuck her, and I'm taking the cats. I'm going.
Literally.
But, well, cat, because we only had Aria. But, like, but that's the thing, is that, like, I was definitely a piece of trash. But then again, like, with...
Can you actually explain why you say that? Because I'm sorry, this is the first time you've said that, like, in that regard, and I'm just curious. Like, why?
I know I've said it with Shannon too, but like
not. Oh yeah, we got permission from our couples therapist that we referred to as Jessica. Her name is not Jessica,
and she's a November Scorpio.
She is not. Yeah, she is not a Sagittarius. She is a November Scorpio. She is spicy, and her name is Shannon, and she will make an appearance on here at some point.
Probably you're a year down the line. So if you're very curious about Shannon, which you should be,
I feel like if I went inside her brain. Like, there's certain people that I've seen that I'm like, wow.
Wildly intelligent.
Like, that are, like, wildly intelligent. And I'm like, wow, I just want to get a look inside your brain. But with hers, I feel like I'd take one step in and be like, ah, and have to leave. Like, because it's, like, that intense. Like,
okay, we can't trail too
sorry,
far
yeah,
off.
okay.
No, okay.
Anyway, yeah, go back.
No, I've said it with Shannon, where, like, I was, like, a piece of trash during that time. I fully admit to being that shithead of a person because I knew that I was only out for my survival. And I know that when people are only out for their survival, whatever the circumstance is, I know that it's not the best version of that person, because all they're doing is trying to do what is survival. And you can also say that you were a piece of shit during that time.
Oh, yeah.
Because for a long time, all you were concerned with was survival because of where we were living and who we were living with. And like,
and probably before that too, honestly, like,
I would say that, yeah, when like I left,
that made it worse, but yeah.
Yeah. No, well, I think everything, like Wile E. Coyote, I think everything pushed us to the very edge of that cliff, right? And like again, I feel a lot for myself for who I was then, and I wish that I had the tools. I wish I had Shannon. I wish I had the ability. I wish I had the want to talk to you. I just didn't even have the want to talk to me.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
same.
So when we sit here and say like overcome by your emotions, like these are the things too. Like, do you want to even talk to yourself? And like, that's something that like, maybe you have to cry it out. Maybe you have to yell it out. Maybe you just have to like sit with yourself, but like figure out why you don't want to ask yourself these questions either. Because like, if this is a self thing, that could be a form of self-harm as well. And like, that's, you know, deep down, everybody has something that they like about themselves. And sometimes it's not always easy to bring it out, but like, those are the things that you want to bring out, especially in the harder times. And it's harder to remember during these times, but I want to flip that back onto you.
And unfortunately, therapy is a privilege.
Therapy is a privilege. Yes, that is, yes, 100%. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm not going to sit here and say that everyone can either A, afford it, or B,
have the resources.
And honestly, in this decaying dystopian bullshit that we're living, like it's going to become less available for people. And my heart goes out to you. So, but I'm going to flip that question back onto you.
But that's why we're doing this,
too.
too.
My question's going to go back onto you is that, like, when I was being this really fucking shitty person, did you have any moments of self-reflection thinking you were being a shitty person?
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't care, though.
Can you...
I knew I wasn't being my best partner self for you.
What did she say?
I thought it was your best self.
Your best self? You're not being your best self right now.
Yeah, like, ow. Like, yes, but ouch.
Oh, shut up.
And that's also why we do this too, because it is a privilege and we want to be able to share some info that can be helpful. But anyway, I knew I wasn't being my best self to you. I knew I wasn't being my best self to myself, but like, I didn't care. If anything, I was like, you had me in like I was in full rage mode. So like, you were getting the brunt of that too. Like I was raging at myself. I was raging at the fact that I had no energy. Like I was just done.
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind, like my depression was not diagnosed and I was not medicated at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in an environment that like flared that tenfold.
Mm-hmm.
And there had already been so much turbulence with us prior that like if anything, was like, good, fuck you. Like
you were also reliving PTSD.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now I'm like thinking about like all the things that were really, because like you were recently diagnosed with like, and by like recently, I mean like now recently, like you were recently diagnosed with like
major depressive.
Yeah, with
and
like major depressive
more.
And like exactly, and there's probably more, and like exactly, like, and you're probably like neurodivergent. Like I'm pretty certain you are.
We find out in November when I get my psych
Stay
eval.
tuned, friends.
Yeah,
but like that's, you know what I mean. There was so much, and like your business too, like there was just so much.
Oh yeah, oh my god, because it was like all at once.
Like now reflecting back,
like
obviously in an able state of mind, like,
and you wanted something from me, get fucked.
But
like that's where I was at,
and
like,
that's how I felt too. Though, like you wanted, girlfriend, you wanted something from me. Me too. Can I get on that line?
Right.
Like, so
no, I did know I was a piece of shit, but if anything, I was like, okay, and then I just like cranked it up more because like I feel like with myself, at least before, when you get me past a certain point, it's just like almost like I double down on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
you do,
yeah, like it's just like after I hit a certain point. So yes, I knew, but and also like I didn't care, and I didn't feel like, I felt like you were instigating it, to be honest. So like I was just like,
that's fair,
I'm gonna give it back to you tenfold, and then we just fucking did it to each other.
It was
like for fun.
Like I want to call this badminton, but it was
dodgeball.
No, it wasn't dodgeball. It
Lacrosse?
was like,
I'm trying to think of something.
It was like a form of like Mario Kart, like with the fucking bananas and like the turtle shells firing at each other. Like it was like who can like cross the finish line faster, but like the finish line was like
lava.
Like, it wasn't anything, like, to wave a stick about, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't anything spectacular.
But, yeah, to answer your question, I definitely knew, and I definitely did not care. And, like you said, like, I was in survival. I believe that, like, you were in survival. So, like, I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything. So, when you actually say to other people, like, to those that are listening, and you're like, if you know, you need to scream, you need to cry. Like sometimes it's not just these like simple, like stereotypical outlets, because it's like there was more going on there than could have been solved with like a scream sesh, a cry sesh, a good night's sleep. Like that was like, we saw what happened after we moved in here, and like that took months. And it was dark. So, like, I don't want everyone to hear this and feel like it is always a simple answer. And, like, if you need a lot of time, you might need a lot of time.
Be okay with that. Like, that was something that I think that both of us had a hard time coming to terms with, because when we were both like, okay, how, like, you know, a week goes by, and like I remember like I was like meal prepping for us, and like I was almost expecting us to be okay again, like when I was making the crunch wraps, like I was like,
oh, when we were here, when we
and then you like yelled at me because of a reaction somebody gave you, and like you looked at me, and like this is like a week after like we had like 2 sessions with Shannon, and like I'm like, okay, everything's like on the up and up, like cool.
Shannon
and,
works fast, by the way, guys. I know you're probably like in a fair, in 2 weeks things were like okay, not okay, but like we could be in the same room together comfortably.
First of all, I was still coming out of delusion.
That's fair.
Realistically, I was still coming out of delusion, and this was also like what, the 3rd night that we were together after you kicked me out?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, I kicked you out too. Yeah. So we have a lot to unpack here. Unpack. Yeah. We have a lot to unpack.
Hey. But I remember I like looked at you, and you looked at me, and you were like, why are you ruining my life? And like I was almost like confused. Like and that part, like I'm still like, Vicky, like you really thought it was going to be okay? Like even now I'm still like, you really thought it was going to be okay after a week? Like how dare you have that audacity? You know what I mean?
I remember feeling like that too, because I could tell you were like basically like, why won't you shut the fuck up? In so many words, and I was like, you're kidding. Like, knowing damn well, and I love you, but I was also projecting that from past experiences that were less severe from when I've done you dirty, and you've had a much more extreme reaction. So for you to be like, you know, in so many words, the emotional expectation I was getting off of you of it's been a week, what is happening, is like
unrealistic.
You're kidding. Yeah. Like, so anyway,
so fast forward to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
What were you going to say?
I was going to ask you a question.
Then that's what this is for.
I know. Yeah. But like because you asked me about like if I knew I was being a piece of shit. So like, yes, I'm trying to go in timeline.
Yeah, me too. Because eventually we're going to have to, I'm going to say like, we're going to fast forward to like the day you found out and stuff like that.
Yeah. So when we were still living there, obviously like I felt we were both pulling away from each other. Like that's clear.
We only had sex like 3 times. It wasn't anything like, right.
No. And even then, like keep in mind, like for me, I did come to that house with a lot of resentment for you already from the 5 months of straight mania prior, that like I didn't unpack my own.
Right. I was oblivious to that.
Yeah. Like you, like I knew what was going on, and like it felt horrible for me, but like you were not home. So like it was just not.
No, I was completely oblivious to that resentment, like entirely. Like a lot of the time I'll know when you have, you know, hidden feelings about something or resentments towards something. And even then I knew. But during that spout of mania and moving into this house after the rental, I was completely oblivious to the resentment that you had for me during my piece of mania. I didn't know.
So that's a question I have for you. Like, what did you feel like we were... How did you feel like we were during that time?
I was in mania.
No, I know this is a part of like your thing that I have to like understand more. And so
for me during like mania spouts, I don't like I have no recollection. I have no like you know how you I don't even know how to describe this. Every day is a new day.
Oh my God.
Literally, that is
it like 50 First Dates?
It is like...
But like not...
No. It's like, have you ever played like a video game and like you turn it off and then you turn it back on and it's like a brand new thing? That's how it felt. Like...
What?
It feels like if you have a Game Boy, you turn it off, you turn it back on, now you're playing Mario again. Like you... Like it's like a brand new day. Like I just didn't think that
nothing carried over. For
nothing. No feelings. No horror.
Like clean slate.
Very literally a clean slate every day. And like I didn't think anything was wrong with our relationship about that mania piece. For real, I was oblivious. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, I'm glad I asked that. I was crawling out of my skin.
I knew because you told me, but it didn't like. Nothing resonated with me. I was like, okay, cool. Like, you think I don't fucking have times where like I'm crawling out of my skin because like you're being what you're being? Like you think I don't have those feelings?
No,
like,
well now I know.
Right.
But like, because you had your own resentments for me building up.
But that's how it felt. It felt
time.
like it just bounced right back because I was like, you think I don't have those feelings? Whatever, get over it. And I just kind of like, again, mania. So I just kind of like flowed right through. It didn't like stick.
Yeah.
Nothing stuck with me during those periods of time.
Okay. No, that's again, I mean, I'm learning more too. So that's wild. I rapidly grew resentment for you during that time.
And I think that's more than fair.
Yeah, but also you were rapidly growing resentment for me for a long time because of my like narcissistic tendencies that I didn't know were narcissistic tendencies, which we will also get into later. But yeah.
Right. And like, not to mention like, you know, you bring it up now. I gave you a piece of time where you could be okay after, you know, PTSD with the workplace. And then like the minute that I needed like time to heal, like you couldn't give it to me. Like that's how it felt. Like you couldn't, okay, like I gave you all this time to get better. But like, that's the thing is that like I, you know, during those 5 months, I'm like, okay, well I gave you all this time and like you can't give me time. Like, okay, fuck you. Like I deserve this time. And then you would verbally tell me you deserve this time to heal. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so she's on board with me. So like to now, so when you say like, oh, I had resentment for you, like, but you're verbally telling me one thing, your actions are following through with that same thing. I'm like, okay, so there's no resentment here at all. Clean my hands of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, I wasn't very good about being honest with that during that time because...
Well, neither of us were good about being honest with each other.
Yeah, because like I'm sitting here like you deserve it. And then in my head, I did have so much resentment for you during that mania time that crossed over that I was like, you had your time, you had your fun. Like you were somewhere else in mentally for however long, like time's up. Like go like, and I was just like, and that's what this was subconsciously, now that I'm like again stepping back,
right,
subconsciously was going on. But like, did I know realistically like, yeah, you deserved some time financially to recoup? Yeah. Did I want to give it to you? No.
Right.
Because fuck you. Like I was so mad, and like it's not fair, but like I'm just saying like now that we're asked like going, you know, further into it, that's what I wish I could have been honest, because I think we could have got further.
Yeah, well, same.
But like,
anyway,
yeah,
fast forward. So like after we got out of the house and we got into our house and this woman approached me and, you know, made her moves and stuff like that. Multiple moves. It takes two to tango. I'm not denying it. So when she approached me, like, you know what I mean? Like, of course it's flattering. Like, I'm not in love with my wife at this point. Like, and somebody else, like, comes on to me. Like, of course that's flattering.
Oh, yeah. Did you think I wasn't in love with you? Like, I didn't know you weren't in love with me.
No, I didn't think you were in love with me.
I didn't know you weren't in love with me until we were in therapy.
No, I didn't think you were in love with me at all. I thought you were, like, ready for a divorce because of the way that you were treating me.
That makes sense, but I
was pretty fucking convinced. I was like, she doesn't want to be with me anyway. Like, what's the fucking matter? It's her house. Like, whatever. Like,
that's not true at all.
Well, I mean, I wasn't really told, like, there were no words or actions to prevent me from thinking this.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
No, I know. I know.
No, I know. You're right. Like, as far as, like, actions and words go.
Can you say that again?
Shut up. As far as shut the fuck up. As far as actions and words go around your thoughts about me not being in love with you, it tracks. I hear you. Yeah. You're right. But like emotionally, that wasn't true on my end. Anyway,
no,
that's what I wanted to ask you. Go ahead. I didn't know that you knew. I didn't know you felt that I wasn't in love with you.
No. I knew we were putting on the face for like friends and family, but like God, I'd never do that. Just fucking CT pro tip, don't fake it.
I hope some of you watch the challenge. So
CT pro tip. No, I did not think so. So when this person approached me and was like, you know, said what she said, I'm like, okay, that's very flattering. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, it ends there. You know what I mean? Like I thought about it and I was like, that was very nice. And I didn't think into it.
Well, at the time, honestly speaking, like for that one instance where it was like a bunch of our friends out and I was home.
And she was a part of the friend group, so I didn't think...
Well, that's what I mean. Like, so, and like one, like... you're like that.
Comment.
One-off comment I wouldn't have thought about either. And also, you were like this with strangers, so like it was not like anything to like.
Right. It wasn't anything to like be like anything about.
Yeah.
Right. So like, okay, I took it for what it was.
The first
time. Right. The first time. And then when it happened again, like that was because that was in a sober setting, right? Because we were at the gym and she said something to me.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
She said something sober, and I was like, this is definitely something. Like, this is happening right now. Like, you just moved that energy to me. Like, you made your chess piece move, right?
This is gonna sound insane, but like, we've gotten so far with Shannon that like when you remind me of this stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. Like I know it's like not probably like.
Well, we talked about it so many times,
right? So that, like I'm like, oh, I forgot one detail. Like okay,
yeah,
like,
no,
because I've heard it like
a million times.
Anyway, go ahead.
So like when she moved her like chess piece, and I was like, oh, okay, like my wife's not in love with me, I'm not in love with her, but this person is moving in. Like that's really nice. Like that not only like soothed my ego, but like it made me feel like I wasn't the piece of shit person you made me to feel. Mm-hmm. So, like, it was a really nice feeling, you know? And it was a dopamine hit of, like, it was a quick smack hit of, like, okay, I'm not a shitty person. And it was a reassurance, like, that I needed. And, like, it could have been anybody. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, she was a great variable, but, like...
Because she was readily available.
Because she was readily, like, available.
That was funny. Because it could have been like
it could have been a dude.
It could have been it could have been a bag blowing in the wind, to be honest with you, if it hit you the right way.
And it did, don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. If it hit you the right way and you felt like, oh, that was like you, it could have been because you were so done like at that point, and your ego, like I'm not gonna sit here and be like I did great for your ego. No, it was absolutely shattered. And I did tell you this in therapy, and I'll tell you now, if the shoe, after learning everything that like your resentments for me, like all different things, like I would have stepped out on me too. Do I think I deserved this? No.
Right.
But do I get where your process was and where your brain was for like where we were at the time and with the lack of growth we had going on? Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's like hearing you say that, not only in therapy, but like now, like to know you would have done the same thing.
Fuck yeah. Sorry.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Like it's validation that like we're human. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not going to sit here and say it was right. I'm not going to sit here and say it was okay. I'm not going to sit here and say it's acceptable. It's human. And like it was a really shitty thing that I did. But it was the only thing I knew to do. And it brings me back to our first episode when you're in the swamp of sadness and like you're looking for something to hold on to and you're looking for a branch. Like you don't care what branch that is. You're not looking for the sturdiest branch. You're not looking for the friendliest hand. You're looking for anything. And this person gave me her hand willingly. And I said, girlfriend, I am on board. And like, and I did. And like, because it was only 2 weeks. But like
that 2 weeks felt like a fucking year for me.
Did you like when I was like texting her, like what was going through your head?
I was so annoyed every time. Because first of all, like I knew. I had confronted you, if you don't remember.
You did. You confronted me a lot.
Several times.
Yeah, and
for anyone who watched Siesta Key. several times did I confront you about it. Like I noticed, first of all, like I knew our energy wasn't good, but like I noticed a shift that like I was getting less attention when you were home and that you were on your phone a lot. Like I'm not dumb. Right. Like, you know, like these are key signs of cheating. Like I brought it up with my therapist at the time too. Like, and you know, in so many words, he told me I was being an idiot, like for believing you. But like, I was just like, she's never lied to me before. Like, you know, not like that. So I was like, whatever. So like what was going through my head, I knew.
Yeah.
I knew. And I felt like you were gone for so long. It was just I felt like I had been losing you for so long at that point that like, I just didn't know what to do about it anymore.
That's fair.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I just felt like you've been out of my grip at that point, realistically, probably for almost a year.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like,
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because for me, it started with the mania-ish.
FMLA.
Well, no.
It didn't start in Aruba?
No.
Okay.
No, it really didn't. It did not start when you were on FMLA. It did not. I will tell you, for me, it did not start like thoroughly. Like, yes, we had our problems, and like, yes, our foundation was always shit, and like, yes, a million other things. But like, the resentment did not really start to like compile on in motion for me until the mania stint like started going past like its like 2-week, 1 month period.
Okay.
Because like I was like conditioned to not like tolerate it for that long, but like I was in your waves.
Yeah.
Like, I knew how you operated, so I was prepared, and it was just different this time too. Keep in mind, like I was used to how like your mania was when you are on a routine and you had all your shit in check,
right?
And da, da, da. Like I was not used to your mania when you were just like a loose cannon.
No,
like,
routine
that was
a big part.
Yeah, that was a whole different bitch. So
yeah.
So for me, that resentment had started like a year ago at that point. And like, to me, I had like not seen you at that point. Like I hadn't seen the person that I felt connected to in like a year. So like, I honestly, like I knew what was going on. I was hurt and upset. I was jaded. I felt like a single mom home with the kids.
And you were. Because I was at the gym fucking around with this person. Not physically, but like I was around this person for like what 4 or 5 hours, and then like I would come home and be like, well, at least I brought you noodles, and it's just like, kind of fucking pity noodle is this?
Yeah. And like then if you weren't with her, you were texting her, and like I knew you were texting her, and I remember begging you to get off your phone.
Yeah.
And it just felt like, for me, it just felt pathetic.
Yeah.
Like I was just like begging for like your attention and like you to acknowledge me. And keep in mind, in my head, like I had just put all of this effort. Yes, you were working 7 days a week, and yes, you were doing what you could do. But in my head, I was like, I had just put all this effort for us to have this, and you can't even look at me now. Like, you know, so it was just like, it was so heartbreaking on so many levels. So I guess my question for you is like, because you asked if I knew, like I knew, and I think I was just taking any breadcrumb you could give me. That was like my biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
Like, for you, like, what was that even like? I do know the answer to this kind of, but like, what was it even like switching into like, because you were like, you admitted to living like 2 different lives. Like, what was it like switching in and out like that? Like regularly? Because like, I know you.
It was uncomfortable because like it was exactly that. It was a dopamine hit. So like when I would go to the gym or when I would see this person, I was a completely different person.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
sounds right.
And like, she saw what I presented, right? And like, I have no other way to say that other than like, she has no idea who I am. And like,
I know.
And like,
I knew that.
She just doesn't have any idea who I am. And like, I don't think she had any interest in knowing who I actually was. She had an interest in knowing what she wanted to know. And like,
doesn't everybody?
But like, that's what I did. Like, my people pleasing self was like, let me give her more of what she likes, because so I was getting a hit too. Right. Yeah. So I could get my fill too. Mm-hmm. So like it was not a comfortable thing, because then I would come home to you, a person that I wasn't in love with, and I was thinking about leaving you. Mm-hmm. Like, no, there was no plan. But, like, there was, like, I don't want to be here right now with you. Like, there wasn't a plan to be like, I'm going to pack my bags and go. It was I don't want to be with you right now. Mm-hmm. And, like, then when I would really think about that thought, I would think to myself, what happens when the shine wears off with this person, right? Do I want to come home to this person every night? Like, no, I want to come home to Lauren every night. Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted. And, like, I wanted to come home to the things that you were able to be for me, with me, and provide for me. What?
No, so you knew even at that, because again, knowing where you were, knowing what I do know about where you were at the time, right? Because I'm not you. And you say you thought to yourself, like, when the shine wears off with this person, like, you even in the
I knew it was a honeymoon phase. That whole thing was a honeymoon phase.
No, I know, but you were so, keep in mind, like, you were, not only were you disconnected from me, like, I know you were disconnected from yourself.
Absolutely.
So, like I knew
a car without a battery, totally.
100%. So that's why I'm like, you even knew in that state of mind that it was like a shiny new thing.
Because the thing that I wanted with this person, I wanted like what I had with you, like that life, like that, like, you know who I am, you know what I like, you know that I don't like too spicy. I only like kind of spicy. Like
You like spicy flavor, but you can't have hot.
I am very white, very Polish, very Russian.
We
like bland things.
We've made so much progress, though.
Right, and that's great. But, like, that's the thing is, like, those are things about me that you know. And, like...
I know how you like your coffee.
You know how I like my coffee. Like, there's stuff like that. And I wanted that with her. And I knew that was something that she was never going to be. And I knew it was always going to be surface of, here's some questions. Because there are times that we were at the gym and there was the awkward silence that was awkward. And with you, it was never awkward getting to know you, like as my friend, as my girlfriend, as my fiance, getting to know you. The silence was never awkward. It was just us together. And like, that's what I wanted with her. And I knew it was never going to come. And like, it was just, like I said, it was just a high. It was a really good high. And then, again, we're going to fast forward just to move past this for the sake of time. Like, the day that, first of all, she broke it off with me a week after, a few days after, a week after, a few days after, whatever. And then came back a week after to love bomb me. And then, like, when that was over, she tried to break it off again, and that's when I went into her house to be like, you told me that you were falling in love with me, and now you're just gonna block me on all platforms. Like, what the fuck? And that's the video that you received when I was like at her door.
Oh, I know the video I received.
Question. That's like, whew.
Oh God,
what was your first thought about getting that text messages from the woman?
Oh, I can already answer that.
Okay, go.
I knew it, and I'm going to rip your head off, and I'm going to ruin your life because you already ruined mine. And I was just so this is actually what pisses me off about that.
Okay.
Really side note with our friend group at the time I never thought I'd be this bitch who everybody knew but me. And it made me really look around and reevaluate who I put myself around. Everybody knew but me. So to answer your actual question about what my thoughts were.
I like that roundabout, though.
Bryn, I had to. It was just like, oh, like we're saying
You're
this.
like, oh, I'm happy you asked. I prepared this.
I
have this thesis.
I do have a thesis on the... to answer your question about what I got in that moment, it was for that reason, and because everyone knew but me, because I knew everyone knew but me at that point, like that, just everything in my brain that I had heavily suspected for however long was solidified in that moment. And I was just like, I'm going to burn it all down to the ground, and you are going to burn with me. And like, that's probably what I thought in that moment. And when I called you and I was like, we need to talk, and you gave me no emotion, I was like, oh, I just was like,
takes off earrings.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we're gonna play then. So yeah, no, I just like, I was somewhere. Fair. I think I like was it was like an out of body experience, honestly.
Yeah, that was for both of us. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. So what was your...
Terrified.
Did you know?
I was terrified.
Before I called you, did you knew that I got that text with the video? What do you wait, what? You knew before I was
on video. I knew I was on video.
But did you know that
I knew it was going to get sent to you.
Yeah, but did you know when I called you that I had already received it? Like, before you picked up the phone?
It was like a 50-50. I had to, like, hear your tone of voice.
Oh, so you suspected that because it just happened?
Yep. I had, like, hear your tone of voice. Okay. But yeah, because
when I said we needed to talk, you said, I know. And I was like, oh.
Oh, no. The minute that I walked up to this person's door and saw that they had cameras, I was like, this is going to get sent right to Lauren. And I knew it. I didn't have the guts or the balls to tell you myself. And I was like, well, the camera will do it for me. And like, it was a disaster. And I wish I had the courage to come to you, and like, it was beyond cowardly that I didn't. And you know, I wish it didn't happen to begin with. But
when you did pick up and you said, and I said we needed to talk, like what did you, and like you said, you wish you could. I understand first that you, with your state of mind at the time, with the lack of anything that either one of us had as far as like stability, sanity, normal sleep schedule, whatever, you name it.
Right.
That like now I understand that you wouldn't have come to me because you couldn't even be honest with yourself. And that's with me too.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't honest with myself during that. I was just trying to like get through the day with you.
Yeah.
But, so looking back, I'm like, of course she didn't come up. But like, so I guess with that being said, with that state of mind, like, what did you think when I called you? And 2 questions. First one is, what did you think when I called you?
Mm-hmm.
And the second is, now I understand how it like got to where it got, but also like, did couples therapy even cross your mind? Like, what was actually, and I know I've asked you this so many times, but I feel like I'll never fully get it because I'm not you.
Right.
And I understand to the extent I can, but like, what was going on in your head as far as like the end result of this?
So when you first called, I think my mind very literally went to an equation in outer space, and it was my head floating.
Like the TikTok filter?
I don't think there was anything other than
sorry, I'm like picturing like you on the phone with me and like you at
there
the
was
car
nothing
dealership
in my
and
head.
just like,
there was nothing in my fucking head other than like, oh my God, like, what did I fucking do? Like, there was nothing more than what the fuck did I do and what's going to happen next? And like, because I didn't have either answer. I didn't have any answers. And the end result, like, I was embarrassed to say that we needed couples therapy. I was really embarrassed to say that, like, we just got married and now we like already need someone to like intervene. Like, I was so embarrassed. And like,
how long were we married? 5 years? 4 years?
I was embarrassed. Like,
yeah.
you know, like, it's like I never have any stigma around therapy. Like, I've had a therapist forever and I never had a stigma around mental health. At least like I've never felt the stigma around mental health. People say stupid things all the time. That doesn't bother me. But like with couples therapy, I'm like, because I didn't want it to be a poor reflection of you. And like, because I cared more about you than I did about me. Because I didn't care about me because I'm a people pleaser. But this was also like retrospect reflection, right? So like when, like, what was the end result? Like, not get divorced. Like, I don't think I could have thought anything past it. Like, I want to sit here and say like obviously we needed couples therapy. Obviously we needed to get closer. Obviously we needed to figure each other out. Did I think we could do it without couples therapy? Egotistically speaking, yes. Realistically speaking, no.
It's crazy you say that because I actually, if Shannon listens to this, she's going to be like, what are you?
She's going to be like, where? In what world?
In what universe did you
And then she's going to laugh at us.
I know. But like actually after being with her for however long, like, yeah, same. Like before that, I truly also egotistically was like, this is just a bad patch and like we can get past this together.
Egotistically.
We just have to honestly.
We just gotta dig our heels in and do the work.
Yeah, and like in my head I was like, once we get to more, because like, you know, like we had a separate loan for the house.
Once we get over this hurdle.
Yeah.
Once we get over this hurdle.
And then it just kept being the next hurdle. And then the next hurdle in my mind at the time was like, once we get the actual mortgage and we're not paying this separate loan, then I can prioritize this. And like that's the whole thing is like, it was never getting prioritized.
Right. And it never would have been either.
It never would have been.
But that goes for me too, because what else was I worried about? I was worried about getting a full-time job. I was worried about benefits. I was worried about this. I was worried about the holidays. I was worried about seeing my parents, your parents, my friends, your family, like X, Y, and Z. Like I wasn't worried about you, this, our family. I wasn't worried about our foundation at all. And like, so like to answer your question in short, like, I didn't have any answers because I couldn't provide any for my own. So I couldn't give you anything. And, you know, and then when I came home and you kicked me out, you know what I mean? And like, that was scary too, going to work and you saying like, get your shit and leave kind of thing. That was scary because I was pretty certain, because you made it clear, you were like, we're legally in a separation right now. So like, you know, and I started looking for apartments because like, did I want to? No. But like, I was like, okay, like, how do I get my wife back? Respect her. What is she saying to me? We're legally in a separation. Okay. She wants her space. Like while I was in the hotel and you said very clearly, like, I'm happier without you here. Like, okay.
You were happier without me here too, without me
we
there
needed
too.
Space to not with each other. We just needed space to just be away from one another. And like, I'm not gonna say we didn't need it. And I'm not gonna say it was a bad thing that we were away from each other. It was good that I was in the hotel, and it was good that you were here. Like, it was a good thing. And, like, it sucked and it hurt, but, like, it was really good for both of us. And, like, it was, you know.
Okay, so, because the reason because I actually, believe it or not, with that affair itself, I had zero plans of kicking you out. Zero. What had happened, what lit the fire under me more to kick you? Because keep in mind, like, I knew, like, in my heart of hearts, like, I knew. So, like, that wasn't as much of a surprise to me. What gave me the fire to, like, want you out of the house was that you were still lying about details afterwards,
Right.
to me, and then I was finding them out from her.
Right.
So that's what made me want to kick you out. If you just, like, spilled, it would have been a different story. But, and also now after Shannon, I realized, because she explained this very well to me, how the hell were you going to be honest with me when you couldn't be honest with yourself? And during that time when I was asking you, this is a question. Well, during that time when I was asking you questions and I know you knew you were, like, lying to me. Like, what were you thinking at that? Like, what was going through, what was your experience mentally and physically?
Honestly, as I was lying to you, I was thinking in my head, okay, the less she knows, the less worse of a punishment I'm going to receive. That's where I was. I was like, the less Lauren knows, the more she'll believe I don't want to get a divorce. So the more she'll know I wasn't fully into this affair, kind of thing. Like, the more I lied, I felt like I was just justifying my affair. That's how it felt. Physically, I felt sick to my stomach the whole fucking time because, like, I knew, and I was like, God, what if she finds out? What if she finds out? After all of the details came out, in full honesty, I was disgustingly relieved.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Like, after everything came out, and then when she kept lying about things, I was like, don't let Lauren believe her. Like, I was so scared you were going to believe her fibs over my truth.
Well, here is the thing for me. Actually, before I just, like, blindly answer, do you have anything specifically you want me to say to that before I give you, like, my feedback on that?
What do you mean?
Like, do you have any questions before I just give you, like, where my...
No. I don't think so. Not right
now. So, with all of that, what was hard for me was that I couldn't trust you at the time.
Fair.
I didn't trust her because I didn't know her. I already had a weird feeling about her, like, to begin with. Like...
Yeah, it just seemed more like girl code. You guys were on one side because of everything.
Well, because she was giving me more honesty than you were.
And that's fair.
And honestly speaking, like, you owed it to me more. So whatever I was getting,
right,
doesn't matter what branch, just any branch when you're in the quicksand.
It doesn't matter where the post comes from.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where it comes. yeah, anything. So, but when you're in quicksand, you'll reach for anything. So if she's the only one giving me any information, like, that's what I'm going to go for. But with that, the reason I started to believe you again slowly was because when we started with Shannon, she basically was like, we have to dismantle this entirely and start over. Not like start over, but like rebuild it from the ground up.
Yeah.
So like new relationship, new this, new that. Like we are like straight up like take the old foundation and like
get rid of
it, and like we're redoing, like
put the whole man in the trash.
Yeah, put the whole man in the trash. like literally. So like she used like the building house analogy, ironically. So like it's literally like we were like, okay, had to scrap all of this and start over. So the reason I started even believing you again was because we were in couples therapy, and it was like the first time I felt like I saw you again in years after like the first session, and then we were in like probably 2 or 3 sessions deep when it was like, tell her everything that happened. And like you had already told me everything, and maybe like one more minor detail came out after I asked you some questions. I don't know. But like that's when I believed you, was because it was like a controlled, safe environment. And because our couples therapist was like, this is the time, because if you don't, like, this is going to be worse. And you knew that at that point, I think, and actually, did you know at that point that by telling me, like, it was only going to get you out instead of further in? Or like what?
I think so. I think a switch flipped. Also, I'm glad that you say like a safe, controlled environment. First of all, I think of like a biodome when you say that.
It felt like that.
I felt like I was in like a biodome with you. So like I felt like even if it were the worst thing you could have possibly heard, I was like, it's out. This is where it is to be out. Like, you know, when like you like, when you like have to burp, I guess, and like you feel that like air bubble like coming up your throat.
Yeah.
Like I felt like that's what it was. Like I felt like it was like Lindsay Lohan and Mean Girls, where I was like, nope, this is real vomit. Like I like it like it felt like it needed to like just like come the fuck out. Like and like it did. And I was like, it could get worse as soon as we go home. But all I can do is be honest now and hope for the best moving forward. And like that's all I thought to myself. And I was just so like as soon as we were with Shannon, I felt we needed to get it out. I needed to say everything I needed to say. And like when she asked us and she was like, are you in love with her? Like there was a minute I thought to myself, I'm like, why? And then I was like, no, nothing good is going to come from this. And I was like, I'm not. And like I felt you turn and I felt your face and it was scary, but I was more concerned if I lied where that would have gone to. I was more concerned about that than I was about you giving me a look or a reaction.
I'm just glad the switch went in your head where you were like, now I'm going to be, you went from like, I'm going to only lie to like, now I'm going to be only honest. And it was
now
so
like,
interesting.
there's like, oh my God, you like go through my phone. Like what happened the other day? Like somebody messaged me and I was like, oh, it's this person. I gave you the whole origin story of
and
this
I was,
person.
yeah. And I was like, I literally just asked a question. Like you could have given me like one word answer and you were like, and I think I like zoned out while you were, and I was like, and I like came back to, and I was like, why are you still talking about this?
But it's like not even like fear at this point. It's just that like, one, I'm a talker and a Labrador Retriever. So I feel like I just reverted back to my Labrador Retriever behavior. And I'm just like, we have a tennis ball. Yeah. So like, I feel like,
and I'd like pick it up and be like, go.
Yeah. And now it's just me running around the backyard again. But like, I feel like that was like the whole thing with it. But
the whole falling out of love thing, I feel like there's more to get into with that because like I was still in love with you the entire time. But I also feel like we should pick up there.
Yeah. Because that ties into questions too, though. Like, because those are the hard questions that we clearly
didn't ask each other.
Or ourselves.
Yeah. That and a bunch of things with like our environment and the influence of that. And there's just so many, there's so much here.
I love therapy.
Yeah. So we'll get into what it's like to be married and not in love with your partner. And what it's like to have zero support system during that.
Yeah.
On both ends.
On both ends.
Yeah.
Definitely both ends.
Yeah. I don't want to say zero, but like notably less than expect. I'm going to...
You're on your last life in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. That's a good...
You're on your last life. Well, that was... I thought we did pretty good there. Good job for us. What?
No, I'm just tired.
Yeah, me too. Well, you guys, this is our Friday night drinking non-alcoholic beer and hanging out with you guys.
As one of our audience members already said, let's get weird. We will see you guys.
Let's get fucking weird.
Let's get weird. We will be back in 2 weeks, and we'll talk about being married and not in love.
Again, don't forget to text your best friend back. Unless it's your wife, then definitely text her back.
Thanks for unpacking with us. If this podcast makes you feel less alone, hit follow or subscribe. It not only makes sure you never miss an episode,
it helps to get this free resource out to as many people as possible who feel like they might not have any options, feel isolated, or they're alone.